Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today for my talk on using hybrid qualitative methods to build empathy from multiple angles. I am Chris Robinson, a Vice President in the Qualitative Practice at C&R Research. In case any of you are new to working with C&R, we are a full-service, custom, qualitative, and quantitative research firm that has been helping clients for over 60 years. We're based in Chicago and have around 120 employees. We have strengths in both online and in-person complex quantitative research, and have developed an expertise in a handful of segments, especially youth and family, multicultural consumers, and most relevant today, shoppers. At C&R, we like to say that we're not too big and not too small. We're big enough in that we have tools and techniques at our disposal to help handle simple to the most complex projects. Our smaller size enables us to be innovative and nimble enough to customize fully to our clients' needs and to experiment with new innovations. We approach all of our research with a fresh eye, beginning and ending with our clients' business needs in mind. Quant, qual, a mixed method approach? We understand that each client's goals are unique and build fresh research plans from an array of scalable solutions that reflect our clients' specific needs and challenges. What's more, we're constantly evolving our methods and keeping stride as the research landscape changes online, mobile, and beyond. This approach allowed us to pivot quickly in 2020 to adapt to the new world order that was thrust upon us all, especially for qualitative folks like me. As you know, the life of a qualitative research consultant is typically fly to market 1 on Monday for groups on Tuesday, fly to market 2 on Tuesday for groups on Wednesday, fly to market 3 on Wednesday for groups on Thursday, fly home on Friday. Rinse and repeat this 30 times a year. This would result in 100,000 miles and 50 plus hotel nights a year. That's because historically qualitative research was executed in one of two different ways: live and in person, asynchronous and online. Both approaches offer benefits and considerations. As you know, COVID-19 forced the shutdown of in-person qualitative. Not only did it mean my airline and hotel status might be in jeopardy, it also meant we had to reconsider how we approach qualitative research. Before live in-person qualitative was market specific, we would go to a few key markets dictated by clients' metrics like BDIs or CDIs, and spoke to a select group of consumers who fit our client's target. This allowed us for backroom collaboration and post-group camaraderie with clients. Asynchronous online qualitative allowed for recruitment from a national audience, saved on travel, but provided limited opportunities for team building. But with the shutdown of in-person qualitative, we had to rethink live research. It went completely online and became national, much more so than before, and without the limitations of markets. This change helped us identify new advantages in our holistic qual practice. Hybrid qual, to get a 360 view of consumers and the client's objectives. By leveraging the strengths of live and asynchronous qualitative, we realized that we could go beyond what each approach offers individually. This was clearly a case where 1 + 1 = 3. We can enhance the traditional singular approach of each by bringing in a hybrid component to supplement and fill in the holes or gaps of each methodology. The great thing is that it works with different types of projects, from more tactical STEM evaluation to foundational and strategic work. So how did we approach this? We netted out with two broad types of hybrid qualitative approaches. One, anchored in the asynchronous with follow-up live online qual to dig deeper. The other, anchored in the live with asynchronous pre-work to prime the conversation. While these approaches are not necessarily new, because of the pandemic, clients were more open to try new approaches they may have been resistant to in the past. So let's take a look at each approach and its benefits. So what does this look like, this asynchronous with a live follow-up? It starts with a larger sample online to get initial detailed learnings, follow-up conversations, either one-on-one or in a group setting. Asynchronous with follow-up live has several benefits. Starting with asynchronous, you get a national sample with the ability to localize it if the project requires it. Then we're able to dig deeper into the learnings with follow-up interviews or group discussions. A great thing is that we can then be selective with who participates in the follow-up, choosing those superstar respondents who are expressive and articulate or who have a unique perspective that we want to learn more about. We can round out emerging hypotheses that we saw during the asynchronous discussion. And depending on the time between the sessions, the client could iterate the STEM to refine and then test again with the same consumers. This also allows us to uncover more of those whys that we're so interested in understanding. It enables the clients to get closer to their consumers and their business issues. And then lastly, we can use video and reports to bring those findings to life. Let's take a look at a case study. One of our alcoholic beverage clients originally planned an immersive 3-hour in-home study, but when COVID hit, we had to adjust. We went online, starting with an asynchronous exploration of the target that included a shopping mission. We then selected a handful of those consumers to dig deeper into brand perceptions, category drivers, and barriers. This allowed us to solidify learnings and start to activate against consumer needs. Let's take a look at another study. For another client, we leveraged an online board to get initial reactions to positioning concepts. Our client was then able to use that consumer input learned online to revise the STEM. We then took that revised STEM into follow-up focus groups among a sample of those consumers identified on the board. This allowed us to probe and go deeper into the reactions to the revised concepts and identify additional optimizations. While the idea of doing homework isn't new, with the idea of it being online too, all the data is in one place, making it easier for clients to immerse themselves into the project. Prework can include projective exercises, journaling, video or photo sharing, shopping missions, or documenting the pre-shop process. What are the benefits of this approach? It warms respondents up to the topic so they can get in there and understand what we're going to be talking about and be primed for those discussions. We can also build a rapport between the moderator and respondents early on. It provides greater context for the moderator to probe on during the interviews or in the groups. It allows us to view their entire shopping journey, pre-store and in-store, without physically being present. We can engage with consumers nationally and execute the research in an efficient way, saving time and travel expenses. We're able to execute live research in less researched and smaller markets, typically not possible with in-person research. For example, we've executed research in rural Missouri, Vermont, Hawaii, Alaska, even during this time frame. These are markets that we typically would not go to for in-person research, bringing us a perspective beyond the usual DMAs. So let's take a look at another case study. A durable goods client of ours wanted to get reactions to optimize an in-store display. We engaged consumers as they shop via a remote shop-along process. Prior to the interview, they shared the space where the new product would go in their home so we could understand their needs, and they detailed their pre-store research process. This allowed us to shop with the consumer without having to be physically present, and we got a breadth of in-store experiences from across the country. This understanding of the shopping process helped prime the pump for our group discussions. There's some things to think about with hybrid. The great thing is that it's not limited by the type of study. It can literally benefit every type of study. However, it does add a bit of complexity to the project, and therefore time as well as incremental cost. It may not be ideal for all studies, for disaster check studies, for example, or those that are in fact limited by time and cost. And because technology is important in this process, it can limit participation because respondents need to have a base level of tech savviness. So looking to the future, I believe that hybrid is not going away. I believe that this is the new normal. Clients have really appreciated the ability to see consumers in multiple different ways. Live research in person has certainly had the benefit of having that backroom experience, that shared experience where you can see consumers up and close. It's allowed them to have that those group sessions with their team and build rapport with each other. And obviously asynchronous, it's saved in travel and allowed them to kind of check in as they could with their individual schedules. And really now we're seeing an overall stronger and greater openness to online methods, where in the past, we really didn't see that as much. But the blending of these things has really, really opened up clients' eyes to the power that each research method has and how they can work together. So by approaching these problems in multiple ways, we're able to now triangulate on the truth and provide those richer insights. And they're really seeing that. I can imagine that we're going to be seeing more hybrid approaches, coupling live in-person research with live national online research, where we're able to get a national footprint, a broader footprint of consumers, coupled with that in-market approach where we can talk to consumers one-on-one or in a small group in person, to allow clients to have that backroom experience, but then also to get the breadth of reaching consumers in markets that we typically don't go to. Thank you for your time, and hopefully you've been able to extract new ways that you might use hybrid methods in your approach to talking to consumers. And I'm open to taking questions from anyone.